Hey guys, it's your host. In this episode of the Habits Pharmacy podcast, we're going to talk about calcium versus vitamin D. Which one is more important for your bones? And if you like this video, please share with your friends and family. So in the previous episode of the Habits Pharmacy podcast, we talked about vitamin D. We talked about how important vitamin D is for our bones. We also talked about how vitamin D helps to increase the absorption of calcium from the gut and therefore strengthens our bones. But in this episode of the Habits Pharmacy podcast, we're going to talk specifically about calcium and its role in bone health. If you are new here, welcome to Habits Pharmacy, where we make health simple and easy for you. So let's get straight into it. Calcium is a mineral that is found in abundance in our body. In fact, 99% of the calcium in our body is found in our bones and teeth. The other 1% is found in our body, fluids, and cells, and it's very important for muscle contraction, enzyme activation, and nerve impulse transmission. The recommended daily intake of calcium for an average adult is between 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams per day. Now, this may sound like a lot, but keep in mind that calcium is a mineral and not a vitamin. Calcium-rich foods include dairy products such as milk, yogurt, and cheese, as well as non-dairy sources such as tofu, kale, and salmon. It is important to note that not all sources of calcium are created equal. For example, dairy products are a great source of calcium, but they also contain lactose, which is a sugar that some people have difficulty digesting. On the other hand, non-dairy sources of calcium, such as tofu and kale, are usually easier to digest and absorb. However, these sources tend to be lower in calcium than dairy products. Now, what happens when you don't get enough calcium in your diet? Well, your body will start to take calcium from your bones, which can lead to a condition called osteoporosis, which makes your bones weaker and more likely to break. This is why it is important to make sure that you are getting enough calcium in your diet, especially as you age. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing calcium from our food. This means that we need to consume more calcium-rich foods or take supplements to make up for the difference. But what happens when we get too much calcium in our diet? Well, this can lead to a condition called hypercalcemia. Symptoms of hypercalcemia include fatigue, constipation, and kidney stones. Too much calcium in the body can also cause the blood vessels to calcify, which can lead to heart disease. This is why it is important to make sure that you are not taking in too much calcium. So now, let's get to the question for this episode of the Habits Pharmacy podcast. Is calcium or vitamin D more important for our bones? Well, the answer is both. You need a good amount of both calcium and vitamin D to have strong bones. Without vitamin D, your body cannot absorb calcium properly. And without calcium, vitamin D cannot do its job of helping your body absorb calcium. Think of it like this. Vitamin D is like a helper molecule that helps your body absorb calcium. If you don't have enough vitamin D, then your body won't be able to absorb calcium properly and your bones will be weak. But having enough vitamin D isn't enough either. You also need calcium. Without calcium, your bones won't be able to get strong, even if you have enough vitamin D, ideally. You want to get your nutrients from the food that you eat. But sometimes you may not be able to get enough nutrients from your diet alone, especially as you age. If this is the case, then you may need to take supplements to make up for the difference. So, if you are looking to improve your bone health, focus on eating a diet that is rich in both calcium and vitamin D. This means consuming foods such as dairy products, tofu, kale, and salmon. You should also consider taking a vitamin D supplement, especially if you live in a cold climate or have difficulty absorbing vitamin D from the sun. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Until next time, stay healthy, stay safe.